Good afternoon and welcome to day 14 of the 21-day series of providing some tips to help community clubs around the country. My name is Terry Dillon. I am working for Terry Dillon Solutions. We're in over 500 clubs and we work across 12 sports. And today we're going to go through a couple of things. We're going to go through, actually did a fantastic workshop last night, which I'll talk about in Caramel outside of Warrnambool. An amazing little town that I feel fortunate to have done that session last night. Enormous amount of energy there. We're going to start on an extension of the revenue. What I'm finding, how to raise revenue, and it's as much about, as we know, at clubs have got limited resources. And I'm going to focus. What I find with my clubs is that we're redesigning this traditional revenue model that most clubs are putting in place, and they typically have an old-fashioned model. I call it a heritage model, but it's so difficult for them. And I'm steering in my club, a lot of my clubs, away from fundraising, where they have 10 fundraisers a year. I see clubs spend 100 hours raising $1,000 just in one event. I'm focusing on less is more, so to have 2-3 key fundraisers and steering more energy towards membership and sponsorship at clubs. And I often see clubs have one person dedicated to sponsorship. That might be the president, might be the secretary, might be one other person. But if you allocated more resources to this particular area, and also membership, the great thing about membership and sponsorship is that the profit margins are a lot higher. They should be around 95%. Some of my clubs actually say they should be 100%, but they shouldn't be 100%, because you should be servicing your sponsor, give them some benefit, invite them to some of your sports activities, whether it's a function or whatever, but you should be servicing and promoting those sponsors where you can. And by putting more, and the great thing about having a focus on membership and sponsorship is, the great thing is that revenue comes in the first half of the season. So let's say you have a cricket season and your main season is let's say October to March. If you do the sponsorship all that first half of the season, then your revenue will be there. Some of my clubs have fundraisers at the end of the season where they rely on those particular fundraisers to succeed, and if they don't succeed, they often end up being in debt. So I'm steering my clubs more to membership and sponsorship. You'll see as part of our series of education that most of my clubs, what they're selling, they're actually selling, it's pretty much based on relationships, and more often than not it's a donation, and more often than not it's an element of fresh air that they're selling. So we introduce new initiatives. For those who attended our workshop, we identified 30 initiatives around the country. We did a workshop last night and we went around the room and we literally picked out 4 or 5 from the floor initiatives for a small club that turns over, I wouldn't say small club, it's turning over a strong, a solid 6-figure sum, and they generated a handful of initiatives, 4 to 5 initiatives, that will raise them an extra 70 grand. And they're a relatively small club in the sport they're involved in. But it happened like that, literally came from the floor really quickly. And so we're going to help you throughout this whole process. There you go. My dogs are out the back barking. So that's Leah ready to go for her afternoon walk. Most I'm finding with clubs is that you have limited resources. There's usually one person selling sponsorship. You need to reallocate some of the resources from fundraising to sponsorship and membership, and the outcomes and results will be so much better. You get access to 160 of our videos teaching you how to run your club. We have about 100 templates. You heard me say there's a roadmap and a formula to run a successful club. We talked about the Centrelink allowance, how you can get people to help your club. We talk about the importance of structures. We talk about the importance of no one being in charge of more than 2 income streams. So that's a sort of, we'll go into a bit more depth as we go through the series. But I want to touch on last night's session at Caramel. It was about 30 minutes out of Warrnambool. It was a fair hike. Thanks to Stephen Giles for Ubering me up to Caramel, which was terrific. It was about I think it was a 6-hour round trip, but absolutely enjoyed every minute of it. A proud little town who's been struggling to be competitive in the recent years. That's from it's a football and netball club, and they had 40 people attend last night. We had people we had the publican there, Carl, terrific. We had the Bendigo Bank there. We had the council there. We had 3 representatives from the league there, and they have been seriously battling. They couldn't see the wood from the trees. They didn't know how to get out of the mire. And at the end of the session, lots of energy, lots of hope. I've sent through the 2-page roadmap to Steve in the last hour in terms of the roadmap of taking the club forward. It's a strategic plan focusing on short-term and long-term initiatives. That's enough for community. We don't need to give them any more than that. Anything more than that, it just gets lost in the filing cabinet and never to be seen again. So it was a terrific night. It reminded me very much of my local community club, Coralline, and it's literally the heartbeat of that region. And I just saw how important the health of that community club was to its community and the community it serves, and they've been down for a period of time, and they want to come up again. And basically, the great thing, we also had the coaches attend, we had some players attend. They're struggling with the scarcity of participation in that area, particularly at junior level. But we created a model, and we're going to go through it. And I walked out of that session as positive as any session that we've delivered in the last since we started doing our workshops in June. And it was sensational, and I think I'd like to follow Karamat really closely in the next period of time to see how they go. I think it's all about that upward and onwards. And last night I think was a really positive turning point for the club. Feedback has been outstanding. Thanks for those that sent messages last night. I'm really excited about my books. Just about it's in the final stages. I hope to release that inside the 2 weeks. Maybe a little bit earlier. Anyone who wishes to make an appointment, give us a call. I want to say give us a call. Go on to www.calendly.com/TD Solutions, CALENDLY.com/TD Solutions. Make an appointment for 20 minutes. We can talk to you about any issues that you have at your community club, and no commitment, no obligation, and look, we've got a busy month. I think we've got 20 odd workshops locked in the next few weeks, so it's going to be helter-skelter, which is great. Great thing is we're starting to train up some people to service the needs of what we've got in terms of helping community clubs. Very fortunate to work in this space. We're making a real difference to community clubs. Please feel free to share this to anyone you think that may get some benefit out of this education. Take care, and go the Karamat Swans in the Mininera, I had to get that right, Mininera competition. So thanks for your time last night. Have a great day. Day 14 over and out. Cheers. Take care.